In a year and a half, Russia spent about $167.3 billion on the war against Ukraine, of which only the equipment of the defense forces was destroyed by more than $34 billion. Source: Forbes calculations based on data from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Details: according to the publication, Russia spends about $300 million a day on the war against Ukraine. Direct military costs and the cost of lost equipment of Russia during the 18 months of the war, from February 24, 2022 to August 24, 2023, amount to about $167.3 billion. This estimate does not include permanent defense expenditures not related to military actions, as well as economic losses of the aggressor country. The largest items of expenditure: support for military operations, $51.3 billion, military salaries, $35.1 billion, compensation for the families of the dead, $25.6 billion, and wounded, $21 billion, and the cost of destroyed equipment, $34 billion. After the rapid fall of the ruble, the value of a Russian soldier for the budget of the Russian Federation has significantly decreased. If in 2022 the total payments per fighter amounted to about $200 per day, currently it is about $120 per day. Also, with the fall of the ruble, the cost of compensation to the military in US dollars decreases. If at the exchange rate of 60 rubles to the dollar, the cost of compensation to the family of the deceased in Russia was about $110,000, now it is only about $65,000. The amount of compensation for the injured was accordingly reduced from $45,000 to $27,000. However, the level of Russian losses in recent months remains at a much higher level than last year, according to the General Staff of the EU. Accordingly, Russia is forced to spend more on compensation. The main item of EREF expenses for the war in Ukraine is ammunition and military support for the army. The total cost of these costs is $51.34 billion. At the same time, the Russians spent more than $9 billion for a year and a half of the Great War just to provide Russian artillery. The total cost of missiles launched on the territory of Ukraine is already more than $21.1 billion.